A year ago, Novo Nordisk, ticker Novo Nordisk, was the undisputed king of weight loss drugs. Today, its stock has been cut in half and Eli Lilly, ticker Eli Lilly, owns 60% of the market. In this episode, we'll answer 3 questions. First, how did Eli Lilly flip the GLP-1 market in just 18 months? Second, with 193 drugs in the pipeline and prices crashing 70%, is this a gold rush or a bubble? And third, which companies will dominate the next wave: pills, monthly shots, and drugs that go far beyond weight loss? GLP-1 is a hormone your gut produces after eating. It tells your brain you're full. These drugs mimic it. Originally developed for diabetes. Weight loss was the side effect. That side effect turned out to be worth more than the original drug. The opportunity: over 1 billion adults are obese globally. Only 2% of eligible patients are on GLP-1s today. This is a market in the first inning. Right now, 2 companies control 95% of this market. Novo Nordisk, $46.8 billion in 2025 revenue. 70% of that comes from one molecule, semaglutide. Eli Lilly, $65.2 billion. 45% growth. Tirzepatide alone hit $36.5 billion. But the market share story is what's really dramatic. In Q2 2024, Novo held 69%. By Q4 2025, Lilly had flipped it, 61 to 39. In my view, the fastest power shift in modern pharma history. Why did Lilly win? 3 reasons. First, efficacy. Semaglutide, 15% weight loss. Tirzepatide, 21%. Doctors noticed. Patients noticed. Prescriptions followed. The difference is mechanism: semaglutide hits one receptor, tirzepatide hits 2. Second, manufacturing. Lilly invested $27 billion in U.S. capacity and increased saleable doses 60% in the first half of 2025. While Novo was rationing, Lilly was flooding the market. Third, pipeline depth. Retatrutide, a triple agonist at 28.7% weight loss. Orforglipron, an oral pill under FDA review right now. Novo has CagriSema, but that's essentially their only next-gen shot. Novo's situation is more dire than most realize. Stock down 42%. Market cap from $580 billion to $163. And the forward picture: 2026 revenue guidance of -5 to 13%, first time declining in a decade. Internationally, semaglutide patents expire this year in markets covering 40% of the world's population. Novo's counterattack: CagriSema filed for FDA approval, oral Wegovy launched at $149, amycretin entering phase 3. But in my read, they're playing defense for the first time in their history. Here's where the story gets complicated for everyone. In 2023, a month of Wegovy cost over $1,300. Today, after Trump administration deals, the Medicare price is $245. Starting July 2026, eligible seniors pay just $50 a month. Prices crashed 70% and both companies agreed to it. The logic: volume at lower prices beats margin at high prices when Medicare covers 70 million Americans. And lower prices squeeze out compounders, the pharmacies selling bootleg semaglutide at $150 a month that were stealing real market share. But here's the crack in the foundation that no one in the industry wants to talk about. Only 14% of patients stay on Wegovy after 3 years. Let that sink in. You start with 100 patients. After 1 year, 47 have quit. After 2 years, 70 have quit. After 3 years, 86 out of 100 are gone. And when they stop, 2/3 of the lost weight comes back within a year. This isn't a course of antibiotics. GLP-1 drugs must be taken for life or the results disappear. The top reason patients quit? GI side effects: nausea, diarrhea, affect roughly half of all users. Cost and lost insurance coverage account for another 25%. This means the market's growth depends not just on new patients starting, but on keeping existing patients from leaving. And right now, the industry is failing at retention. 193 GLP-1 drugs in development. Most will fail. But 8 companies have a real shot. Amgen, ticker Amgen, MariTide, a monthly injection, phase 3. The only monthly shot in late-stage development. Viking Therapeutics, ticker VKTX, developing VK2735 in both injectable and oral. the only company running both tracks. No partner yet, either the best acquisition target in biotech or a company that runs out of runway. Roche, ticker RHHBY, spent $2.7 billion on Carmot. CT388, 22.5% weight loss at 48 weeks. Pfizer, ticker PFE, abandoned their oral drug, then spent $10 billion on Metsera for a monthly injectable. AstraZeneca, ticker AZN, broadest portfolio, oral, monthly, muscle-sparing. And Structure Therapeutics, ticker GPCR, 16.3% oral weight loss in Phase 2b. Best-in-class oral data. Top acquisition target. The next battleground is pills. Many patients refuse weekly injections, and oral GLP-1s could expand the addressable market by 3 to 5 times. Goldman Sachs estimates oral pills alone could be a $22 billion market by 2030. Novo launched oral Wegovy in early 2026, the first oral GLP-1 approved for weight loss. But it requires fasting and limited water. Lilly's orforglipron, a small molecule pill with no food restrictions, has its FDA decision date on April 10, 2026. If approved, it could be the most important pill launch in pharma history. Behind them, Structure Therapeutics, AstraZeneca, Viking, and Roche are all racing to Phase 3 with their own oral candidates. By 2028, patients will likely choose between 5 or 6 different GLP-1 pills. The injection era may be shorter than anyone expected. Almost no one outside pharma is paying attention to this. GLP-1 is no longer just an obesity drug. In the past 18 months, FDA approved semaglutide for liver disease, cardiovascular risk, sleep apnea, and kidney disease. For new indications in under 2 years. Clinical trials are now underway for alcohol addiction and Alzheimer's. Early addiction data is genuinely exciting. If you add those markets together, diabetes, obesity, liver, heart, kidney, addiction, you're looking at over $250 billion in potential addressable market. Larger than oncology. And then there's Lilly's Retatrutide, the drug that could reset the ceiling entirely. In Phase 3, patients lost an average of 28.7% of their body weight. That's 71 pounds. The highest weight loss ever recorded for any drug. Retatrutide is a triple agonist. It hits GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon receptors simultaneously. The glucagon component doesn't just suppress appetite, it actively burns calories. Lilly expects to file for FDA approval by early 2027. If it reaches market, every other drug in the pipeline will be measured against the 28.7% bar. Here's my read. Most likely, 60% probability Lilly extends dominance. Orforglipron approved, Retatrutide enters NDA, market hits $100 billion by 2028. Novo stabilizes with CagriSema but doesn't recapture the lead. 3 signals to watch. First, orforglipron FDA decision, April 10, 2026. Approved, oral GLP-1 is real. Rejected, oral timeline resets 18 months. Second, CagriSema decision, October 2026. Novo's last shot at the narrative. Third, IQVIA quarterly adherence data. If 3-year persistence rises above 20%, the bull case holds. If it stays below 15%, the lifetime drug thesis has a problem. Positive catalyst, Medicare GLP-1 bridge in July 2026, 70 million Americans. Negative, IRA semaglutide price kicks in January 2027. The GLP-1 war is just getting started. $2 trillion in market cap, $100 billion in annual revenue, and the question of whether these drugs can treat everything from obesity to addiction to Alzheimer's, all hanging in the balance. The next 12 months will be decisive. I'm Big Z, follow me, see you in the next deep dive.